Is Netanyahu now trying to force Trump into yet another strategic ploy, even as American forces continue struggling against Iran on multiple fronts? As Trump's original Iran war plan keeps stumbling, is Netanyahu now pushing for an entirely new land blockade strategy to squeeze Tehran instead? Even as Iran issues one grim warning after another, has Netanyahu already begun devising a sweeping plan to block all 7 of Iran's land borders? With difficult terrain and war-fatigued troops working against them, could this ambitious new plan from Trump and Netanyahu ultimately be doomed to fail? Amid rising regional tensions, the United States and Israel have reportedly weighed a new plan aimed at tightening the economic noose around Iran even further. On July 28, Donald Trump and Netanyahu discussed several new ways to increase overall pressure on Iran during their latest round of talks. According to reports, the two leaders explored both kinetic military options and non-kinetic economic tools as part of their broader strategy against Tehran. One specific proposal on the table involved a possible land blockade specifically targeting Iran's various border crossings with neighboring states. This proposed blockade could require several neighboring states to either tighten controls or fully close their border crossings with Iran. The overall plan aims to restrict the flow of imports, exports, and critical military supplies moving in and out of Iranian territory. According to The Telegraph, this strategy would significantly expand existing economic pressure already being placed on the Iranian regime. However, Iran's sheer size combined with its 7 separate land borders makes full enforcement of any such blockade extremely difficult in practice. Iran shares land borders with a total of 7 neighboring countries, creating a genuinely complex challenge for any coordinated blockade effort. Crossings along the border with Turkmenistan were specifically cited as possible pressure points that could be targeted first. Both Iraq and Pakistan could become key links in any broader blockade effort, given their extensive shared borders with Iran. Neighboring states participating in such a blockade may face significant economic losses along with real risks of Iranian retaliation. Ultimately, any such blockade would require broad and sustained regional cooperation in order to have any real chance of succeeding. This proposal emerged as Trump reportedly came to believe that his current overall strategy against Iran had reached a critical dead end. The Telegraph also suggested that this plan may have been deliberately floated in part to mislead Iranian leaders about Washington's true next steps. Iran is reportedly expecting new Chinese military equipment deliveries in the near future, adding urgency to Western efforts to intercept such supplies. Additional port blockades could further complicate Iran's ability to resupply its military through sea routes as well as land crossings. Ongoing gas shortages and long fuel queues were specifically cited as signs of mounting economic strain already visible inside Iran. Israeli sources claimed that Iran's own leadership remains genuinely divided over how to proceed with this drawn-out war. Ultimately, economic pressure is being viewed by both Washington and Jerusalem as a practical tool to force Tehran back to the negotiating table. Notably, Trump is said to be actively exploring new and creative ways to force Tehran back to the negotiating table once and for all. Iran's Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters chief issued a sharp warning to the United States on July 30th, escalating Tehran's rhetoric amid continuing regional tensions. Major General Ali Abdullahi claimed U.S. forces have now realized that coffins are part of their equipment, describing it as the new reality facing American troops in the region. Major General Ali Abdullahi said, and I quote, "The Americans and their mercenaries have today realized deep in their souls that their coffins are part of their equipment in the region," unquote. The commander said the remark reflects what he described as the harsh reality now confronting U.S. forces operating across the strategically vital Gulf region. The Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters chief also repeated a statement previously attributed to Iran's late supreme leader while reinforcing Tehran's military posture. Major General Ali Abdullahi declared that the era of strike and escape has ended, repeating the warning during remarks carried by Press TV. Abdullahi warned that any future miscalculation by the United States would invite severe consequences and a forceful military response from Iran. The commander claimed Iranian forces inflicted heavy losses on their enemies despite facing technologically superior weapons and advanced military capabilities. Abdullahi also claimed that modern military technology and hybrid warfare tactics ultimately failed to weaken or overcome Iran's defensive and combat capabilities. Iran said its armed forces remain fully prepared to respond immediately and decisively to any threat directed against the country's sovereignty or territorial integrity. Abdullahi claimed that any hostile action against Iran would be answered with what he described as a decisive and regret-inducing response. The general also claimed the United States and its allies have been forced to reassess the true cost of initiating any new military confrontation with Iran. He further described the continued U.S. military presence across the region as illegal, according to remarks carried by Press TV. Iran maintained that the continued deployment of American forces in the region only increases the strategic and military costs for what it called aggressors. Tehran also warned that U.S. military bases and deployed forces would remain vulnerable in the event of any future regional conflict. The latest warning comes as tensions across the Middle East remain high following months of conflict, military exchanges, and continued regional instability.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.